In 15th century Italy, political power was usually maintained through sheer violence. The landscape was dominated by ruthless despots who secured their rule with wholesale murder and heavily fortified castles. Florence offered a stark contrast. Powered by a booming merchant economy, it operated as the world's first modern state, filled with a highly literate and fiercely critical population. That fierce pride in civic liberty came with a heavy cost. The Republic was constantly tearing itself apart through bitter factional struggles, leading to endless, volatile changes in the constitution. This hyper-vigilant political culture created a unique problem for any aspiring ruler. The citizens were culturally hardwired to violently reject overt tyrants and military conquerors. You couldn't just march an army in and claim the throne. Cosimo de' Medici realized that absolute power in this environment required a completely different set of tools. He traded the sword for the ledger, the chisel, and the book. His genius lay in recognizing that a wealthy, fiercely independent republic did not need to be conquered by force. It could simply be bought from the inside out. The foundation of this strategy was the Medici Bank. Through a massive European network, they funneled vast capital into the Florentine economy. Between 1434 and 1471, the family spent over 663,000 gold florins on charities and public works, dwarfing standard municipal budgets of the era. Over 400,000 of those florins came from Cosimo's personal accounts. He deployed these funds strategically, financing massive public buildings and personally paying off the private tax debts of influential citizens. This created an invisible, undeniable political leverage. By absorbing the financial burdens of both the state and its leading families, Cosimo bound the supposedly independent republic entirely to his own private wealth. In a society utterly obsessed with commerce and miscible ledgers, quietly paying the public's taxes proved to be the ultimate, unassailable form of political bribery. However, raw capital often breeds bitter resentment. To legitimize his massive influence and avoid the fate of previous wealthy exiles, Cosimo required unparalleled civic prestige. He funded classical architecture on a scale unseen since antiquity. Financing masters like Brunellesco, he reshaped the skyline, masking his private ambition behind public benevolence. He applied the exact same calculated logic to his intimate patronage of the sculptor Donatello. Funding Donatello's revolutionary bronze sculptures allowed Cosimo to align himself closely with Florentine ideals of liberty and classical heroism. The art projected a sophisticated aura of power that was exceptionally difficult for political rivals to criticize. He effectively used a cultural renaissance as a political shield. The public, dazzled by their city's new golden age, happily overlooked the quiet evaporation of their own political freedom. After securing the financial ledgers and the physical squares of the city, Cosimo turned his attention to a higher prize, controlling the intellectual life and ideology of Florence. He founded the renowned Platonic Academy, establishing a new epicenter for European thought right in his own backyard. Recognizing Platonic philosophy as the fairest flower of the ancient world, he sponsored brilliant young scholars like Marsilio Ficino to translate and teach these lost texts. This patronage centralized Florentine thought around the Medici household. It cultivated a fiercely loyal circle of intellectuals who eagerly validated Cosimo and his heirs as true philosopher kings. Through all of this, Cosimo remained a private citizen. He never claimed a crown or a formal title, yet upon his death, the Republic officially mourned him as the Pater Patrae, the father of his country. He authored the definitive playbook for modern soft power. Cosimo proved that when you successfully monopolize a society's economy, its art, and its intellect, the state itself becomes your masterpiece.